Today didn't have to happen. And July 13, 2023 didn't have to happen.
Tonight at 5, a homicide case that started more than 2 years ago comes to a close. Well, we heard from the victim and defendants' families in court at sentencing. Plus, what lawmakers are saying after choosing not to vote today on a bill that would legalize online sports betting here in Wisconsin. You're watching News 3 Now at 5. And thanks for staying with us. Susan is off this week. We begin with the end of a case that started more than 2 years ago at a troubled apartment complex on Madison's Far East Side. It was July 13th when 20-year-old Devon Grant was shot and killed at the Harmony Apartments in 2023. Then in August, jurors found one of the men charged with killing Grant guilty of homicide, and today he learned his fate. Our Tanasia Shaw was at sentencing. She joins us now with what happened in court. Tanasia?
Hi, Eric. Right now, we know that 34-year-old Devontae Gafford will spend at least 45 years behind bars connected to the killing of 20-year-old Devon Grant. That happened in Madison in 2023. And I'm right here outside of the Dane County Courthouse where emotions were very high during sentencing.
Not enough reason to go kill somebody? Hey, you killed everybody in the room.
A firearm as a felon, first-degree reckless homicide as a party of a crime, and first-degree recklessly endangering safety also as a party of a crime. And this started back on July 13th in 2023. Gafford told a jury that himself and another suspect, Marks Parks Jr., were defending themselves in 2023 after a drug deal turned into a robbery. Gafford said that someone shot at them first before Gafford shot back. And Grant family, who saw the shooting firsthand, and prosecutors said that at Harmony Apartments in 2023 that there was a drug deal that turned into a robbery after someone stole cough syrup from Gafford, and that is what resulted into Grant being shot and killed. And at the courthouse today, both Gafford and Grant's family got a chance to speak.
I just wish you would have just came and talked to me, and now one of us would be in this predicament we in now. But you chose to do what you thought was best for you. You thought you was the police officer, the judge, and the lawyer. You took matters in your own hands.
That's my son-in-law, Your Honor. He has 7 kids that he take care of. Good, okay? But the one thing is, that judge, that they don't realize is we wouldn't be sitting here if the boy in his game, when they held him up at gunpoint with some of his kids, okay? We wouldn't be sitting here. That's the point. That's the thing that people don't realize.
And I got a chance to speak to Grant's mom exclusively outside of the courtroom. She told me that she's glad that Gafford will spend most of his life behind bars. And I will have that interview during our next newscast at 6. Reporting in Madison, Tanasia Shaw, News 3 Now.
All right, Tanasia, thank you. And News 3 Now has been following this story since the summer of 23, and you can find our complete coverage at channel3000.com and receive updates on any new information we receive with a free Channel 3000 mobile app. Time now for a look at our first warn forecast. Meteorologist Blaze Keller joining us on the patio tonight, braving the elements out there as the cloud cover continues across southern Wisconsin, Blaze.
That's right. It's not too bad outside. We're in the 40s, some of us dipping into the 30s underneath mostly cloudy conditions, and we're going to stay there overnight into Thursday as well. Planning out the rest of your evening, 40s over the next couple of hours. Eventually we'll settle into maybe those upper 30s to low 40s, sticking with the mostly cloudy conditions this evening, and that is expected to continue into Thursday as well. Speaking of Thursday, we're looking at highs back into the 50s, so about 10 or so degrees warmer than where we should be for this time of year. Upper 40s further to the north, I would say north of the Dells. Further to the south will be more or less in those low 50s with light southerly winds. We got a lot going on tomorrow. It's day 1 of 2 for the WIAA 2025 State Football Championships. We're looking at the low 50s. Again, variable cloudiness. Could be dealing with a light rain shower as you're heading out to Camp Randall, whether it's in the morning morning through the evening tomorrow. We are looking at mostly cloudy conditions with temperatures ranging from the mid-40s in the morning to the low 50s by the afternoon, and then we'll eventually settle back into those upper 40s to wrap up not only Thursday but day one of the two-day championships. We're looking ahead to the weekend. We'll take a look at that as well as the cool down that's expected to arrive in time for Thanksgiving in the full forecast.
All right, Blaze, thank you. Today, the Wisconsin State Assembly cast its final votes of the 2025 calendar year. The Republican-controlled chamber passed dozens of pieces of legislation, but as our Ellie LaLiberte reports, there was also discussion today about what was not on the calendar.
After moving quickly through committees, a bill that looks to partly legalize online sports betting in Wisconsin was removed from a vote on the assembly floor. The bipartisan bill would give tribal casinos the ability to own and operate sports betting online if it's run from their physical location. But that means popular apps like DraftKings and FanDuel would still be illegal in the state. The bill's author, Representative Tyler August, told reporters the legislation had enough votes to pass on Wednesday, but said there is, quote, no rush.
The Senate's not coming back this week. I had a conversation with a couple members over the weekend that brought up some points that I hadn't considered yet, so we're going to work through those, and I expect that we'll be voting on it early next year.
The legislation had also faced questions over whether this change should be a constitutional amendment rather than a bill. The bill's author argued there is no constitutional issue with the legislation. The bill is a bipartisan effort, and Minority Leader Greta Neubauer said today that she does support it. Reporting at the state capitol, Ellie LaLiberte, News 3 Now.
Ellie, thank you. And also at the Capitol, Assembly Speaker Robin Vos prevented a vote on a bill to extend Medicaid to new moms for 1 year after a baby's birth. Wisconsin is only one of 2 states that has not expanded that coverage. Democrats say they intended to circulate the bill for a petition today, but Speaker Vos referred the legislation to another committee, invalidating their petition. And that's despite the bill's bipartisan nature, with 29 Assembly Republicans signing on. We apologize, an audio issue there, and now Democrats have to wait 21 days before they can petition again. We reached out to Speaker Vos's office for comment on this matter and have yet to hear back. Governor Tony Evers calling on the Trump administration to reverse course on denying millions of dollars in disaster relief to Wisconsin after August's historic flooding. The governor declared a state of emergency back on August 11th after Wisconsinites saw millions of dollars in damage from weather over the previous weekend. Now, the total damage done came out to more than $27 million across several counties. On August 27th, the governor requested a formal presidential disaster declaration from the Trump administration. The president ultimately denied that request in October, saying it was not warranted. And in a statement on the matter today, the governor said in part, quote, FEMA exists to help states and communities respond during and after an emergency, and we're asking the Trump administration to make good on that promise. We continue to follow the case against a man prosecutors say seriously injured a Madison canine officer during a chase. Christopher Brugger appeared in court this morning for what was meant to be an arraignment, but his lawyer withdrew from the case at Brugger's request over disagreements, and now a different attorney from the public defender's office will take over the case. Brugger's charged with 13 felony counts and 2 misdemeanors related to the incident, which happened back on September 27th. In a criminal complaint, prosecutors say Monona police responded to a tow truck driving erratically on Highway 51. An officer tried to approach the truck, but the driver sped off, leading to a multi-agency chase that ended with the truck striking a Madison squad car. Both vehicles caught fire. The crash seriously injured Madison police officer Ryan Kimberly, who has since been released from the hospital. Brugger's next court date is scheduled for January 22nd. Well, video here shows a controlled burn at the site of the old Voigt farm today along Milwaukee Street. Madison Fire Department using that space as part of training this week. It helps firefighters learn how to use the technology at their disposal and prepare for real emergencies. Fire Department let media watch the controlled burn today, and we got to speak with Lieutenant Brad Olson about what it's like to see a new generation of firefighters participate.
It's awesome. It really is. We have a very young department, and so having opportunities like this where we can get our younger members in, and even some of our older members, they can also mentor the younger members.
Crews will be back out on Milwaukee Street tomorrow to do the training again. Traffic lanes will not be shut down, but the city is asking drivers to proceed with caution when they're driving in the area. Middleton's District 6 Alder Lisa Hanairo will try to unseat the city's current mayor, Emily Kuhn, in the spring election. Hanairo announced her candidacy for mayor today. Voters elected her in 2022 in District 6 on Middleton's north side. In her announcement, Hanairo cited population growth as a main reason for getting in the race for mayor, and that election will take place on April 7th next year. Still ahead at 5, Blaze is back. A full look at your First Warn forecast. Plus, there is still time to pitch in to feed 4,000 families in need of those ingredients for Thanksgiving dinner, the items the Goodman Center needs most. We'll tell you about it. And it's been a struggle of late on Wall Street, but all positive territory today. The Dow gaining 47, the Nasdaq adds 131 points, S&P up 25, and we'll be right back.
You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
Time is running out to support the Thanksgiving Basket Drive at Goodman Community Center. News 3 Now, a proud sponsor of the drive, and you have until the end of the week to help those in need. Our Jalen Banks joins us now from the center on how the drive is going.
We're at the halfway point of the Goodman Thanksgiving Basket Drive, and they say they're still about 700 turkeys short of their 4,000 goal, but you still have time to donate. For 37 years now, the Thanksgiving Basket Drive has become a community staple, drawing in countless volunteers, families, businesses, and organizations lending a helping hand for families in need. The goal for this year is to supply 4,000 meals to Dane County families. This will help feed 25,000 residents, including 10,000 children, this Thanksgiving.
Everybody's falls on hard times. I just think it's that time of the year. I just like to help out anybody that's down and out. That bad luck can come to anybody at any time, and I'd really like to see somebody benefit from this.
On top of the need of turkeys, the center is still in need of cooking oil, broth, gravy, cranberry sauce, and several other canned and boxed items. Starting Friday, everything that you see here will start to get backed up by volunteers, but you still have until Sunday at 5 p.m. to donate. For now, reporting from the Goodman Center, Jalen Banks, News 3 Now.
Jalen, thank you. And you can make a financial donation online or make a food donation in person at the Goodman Community Center on Wabisa Street from 10 to 7 weekdays, 9 to 5 Saturday and Sunday. A link with all that information is on our website, channel3000.com. Turning now to your forecast, meteorologist Blaze Keller joins us as those clouds stick around over southern Wisconsin. Blaze?
That's right. Not only tonight, but into Thursday as well. We're going to be sitting underneath these mostly cloudy conditions. We're not really easing a new low pressure system in to kind of clear out the clouds that are overhead. And on the flip side of that, we're also not moving in another high pressure system to clear out the clouds. So we're just going to continue to sit underneath this cloudy air mass, not only tonight, but into Thursday. We start to break it apart as we go into Friday and then further into the weekend, looking at sunnier conditions. But in terms of complete sunshine, that's probably not in the cards this weekend. Mostly cloudy with a slight chance for showers as we head into Thursday. The emphasis there is slight chance. We might just get a little drizzle underneath these mostly cloudy conditions. Winds are going to be out of the northwest as we go into Thursday, but we really don't cool down, or at least we don't experience a major cool down until later next week. Starting to see a little bit more sunshine as we go into the afternoon on Friday. High pressure as it continues to sit over parts of the Midwest will push what was once looking to be our next big rainmaker further to the south. So we're going to miss out on those rain chances this weekend. And again, looking at partly sunny conditions, maybe a shower or two across northern parts of Wisconsin, still mild as we go into Saturday. Winds kind of a mix of northwesterly or southwesterly, depending on how far south you are. So that's going to keep our temperatures relatively mild as we head into the weekend. In fact, we're going to stay well above average Thursday through about Tuesday of next week. As we get closer to Thanksgiving, there's confidence growing that we will be cooling on down, and that cooler than normal condition may be lasting with us through at least the end of November into possibly the middle of December. Over the next 8 to 14 days, confidence is growing that we're going to sit underneath about a 50 to 60% chance of being cooler than average from the 27th through December 3rd. So right on the heels of Thanksgiving through the start of December. And the Climate Prediction Center is even extending that even further into possibly the middle of December. So what is changing? Well, the jet stream is starting to move a little bit further south, so that means warmer air can't go as far north. You'll see those greens and those yellows start to move their way out of Canada as we go through future track. We're jumping ahead to next Tuesday. We're starting to set up the beginning of that cool down. What looks to be a large low pressure system will move through parts of the plains and the Midwest. Cold air behind it, warm air out ahead of it. As that system pulls its way through the Midwest, we're ushering in that first cool down, the light blues and even those whites indicating that cooler, more Arctic air. And that's going to continue to move its way further into parts of New England. And we're still sitting underneath that cooler air as we go into the weekend after Thanksgiving. If all things hold true, we may continue to pull all this blue, these light blues, further to the south as we go into the end of November and the start of December. So that could mean that our rain chances could gradually turn over to snow chances. We will just have to see. We'll take it day by day. But in the immediate future, we are still hanging out in those 50s and the 40s. We don't need to bundle up quite yet. So heading out to the Badger game this weekend, and then the Packer game on Sunday, WIAA Thursday and Friday. No real rain, no big cool down. It's Thanksgiving onward that things start to change, and that's when we'll hang out definitely in those 30s to end next week.
Well, Thanksgiving looks like a day to just sit on the couch and let the turkey settle.
After eating all day, yes.
Sit at home, watch football.
Exactly.
Thank you. As part of Wisconsin Winter Weather Awareness Week, the First Warn Weather Team announcing daily winners of our First Warn Weather Team Snow Shovel. The third winner is Tony Muniz of Janesville. Congrats to Tony. And tune in tonight at 10. You'll hear the very latest on Southern Wisconsin winter weather research. Dr. John Martin from UW-Madison with findings that may have you shivering a little less. And Alex's grandma Eileen Harrington also has a thing or two to say about Southern Wisconsin blizzards. You won't want to miss it tonight at 10. Well, running back Josh Jacobs was dinged up, injured in the Packers' win over the Giants. But as News 3 Now senior Packers writer Jason Wilde tells us, the team isn't counting him completely out this weekend.
The Packers are still hopeful that they will have their star running back Josh Jacobs available on Sunday against the Minnesota Vikings here at Lambeau Field. He has a bruised knee that he suffered in New York against the Giants last Sunday. If Jacobs can't go, it will be third-year man Emmanuel Wilson, who came from tiny Fort Valley State as an undrafted free agent, but has been a very reliable second option that Matt LaFleur has seen all kinds of growth from over the past 2+ seasons.
It speaks to his development. I can tell you, his rookie year, it was nonstop. I was always in his ear, kind of getting on him pretty good, but it's a credit to him in regards to being able to take the coaching and just show up, I would say, with a sense of urgency every day. There was a lot to learn coming from where he came from to where he is now, but I think he's embraced that. He's embraced the challenge, and then he's maximized his opportunities.
We'll have more on Emmanuel Wilson and everything else Packers on our website, channel3000.com. And while you're there, make sure you sign up for our Packers newsletter, which delivers our coverage directly to your inbox every single day. In Green Bay at Lambeau Field, Jason Wilde, channel3000.com.
Jason, thank you. And still ahead at 5, boy, Honda is recalling more than 250,000 vehicles. We'll tell you which ones next. And whether the White House has provided a timeline on when the president could sign a bill calling on the Department of Justice to release the Epstein files. Stay with us.
You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
Welcome back, and a heads up, Honda is recalling more than 250,000 vehicles due to a software flaw that can cause drivers to lose power. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration says this recall includes Honda Accord hybrids, model years 23 to 25. Honda will send letters to affected owners by January 5th. Head to NHTSA, that's NHTSA.gov. You can enter your VIN number to see if your car is involved. One of the most highly anticipated economic reports comes out tomorrow. The September jobs report was delayed for more than a month due to the federal government shutdown. Economists predict 50,000 jobs were added in September and that the unemployment rate held steady at 4.3%. This could be the last clean jobs report for a while, since the shutdown likely messed with the finely tuned process of data collection and analysis during October and also part of November. A live look at the White House at this hour as the country awaits the president's decision on whether to release all of the files related to the case of convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Yesterday, both chambers approved a bill calling on the Department of Justice to release the files. It comes days after Democrats released personal emails from Epstein in which the president is mentioned by name. Upon sending the bill to the president's desk, the Senate chose not to make any changes to the bill, including redacting the names of the victims.
That's their prerogative. I was surprised and disappointed by that, but overall, I mean, the bill has passed, Congress has spoken, and we did what was necessary. I hope it brings comfort to the victims and the survivors.
White House officials have yet to say when the president will sign the bill. The U.S. government is admitting the full grand jury never reviewed the final indictment against former FBI Director James Comey. Interim U.S. Attorney Lindsay Halligan made that revelation today during a hearing on whether the indictment should be thrown out. Comey's lawyers say he's being targeted by the president for speaking out against his administration. The judge didn't make any rulings today, saying the issues before him were, quote, too weighty to immediately decide. Stay with us. We'll get a final check of your First Warn forecast after a short break.
If you're traveling for the holidays next week, the government has some advice to keep flyers from fighting on their way to Thanksgiving dinner.
And some prisoners leave lockup only to end up back behind bars. Our Eye on America goes inside a prison, rewriting that story, transforming lives before release. That's tonight on the CBS Evening News.
And coming up on News 3 next hour, the changes that some companies have made to their products to cut costs that buyers should know about before purchasing holiday gifts. Again, that's tonight on News 3 Now at 6. Well, we now know who will address students graduating from UW-Madison this winter. Miss America 2023 Wausau native Grace Vanderhey will return to UW-Madison as the commencement keynote speaker. Vanderhey earned her degree in nuclear engineering from UW. She is no dummy while fulfilling her duties as Miss America. This year's winter commencement takes place on December 14th.
Nuclear engineering.
We interviewed her a few times. She is something. She's bright. Great to have her back on campus. And Blaze is back with a final check of the forecast.
Cloudy tonight, cloudy for your Thursday. We're looking at another mild day, though, 40s and then eventually 50s by the afternoon. Day 1 of 2 for the WIAA Football State Championships going on in Camp Randall. So we are looking at a cloudy day. But as we go into Friday, the second day, we'll be slightly cooler, but still pretty mild, considering we'll be in the 30s by this time next week. Weekend is looking pretty quiet as well for both the Badger and Packer game. If you're celebrating here in southern Wisconsin, 50s all the way into Monday of next week. And then right around Thanksgiving is when everything changes and we're back to feeling like winter. We are looking at maybe some slight flurries there on Turkey Day.
We've had some good luck, though. I know a lot of state high school football games through the years we've had to clear the snow from the field. So
not this year.
Not too bad. CBS Evening News is next. We're back in 30 minutes for News 3 Now at 6. You can always find us streaming 24/7 on Channel 3000+.